Okay. Yeah. So I've opened the doubly linked list program 8.c. Okay. So all this, the entire program and all the functions which are present inside this, so you people have understood in the previous class itself. Okay. So float array, salary. Okay. Then while case 2, case 4, case 6, then 7, read data, function to create the node, so this is the function to create the node. Since I copy pasted it, it is looking little jumbled. Else, so we can say the list already has, so the student data, not student data, it will be employee data. Then insert front function, then insert rear, and this is delete front, so if you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll just make it in one line. Okay. Okay, now everything is fine. I will go for compiling this. So the program looks little big, but if you understand everything properly, it's easy. Okay, now there are no errors and I've got 3 warnings. Let us not worry about the warnings now. It's saying the function should return a value and the code has no effect where so malloc queue size of this and no, yeah, it's okay, no problem. Since we're calling the macro, it's saying the code has no effect, so it's not a function, it's a macro which is defined over here. Okay, now I'll save this again. I'll go for compiling. Okay, now I, ignoring the warnings, I go for running the program. Okay, so I have the menu option displayed to me. So create, insert front, and then insert rear, delete front, delete rear, display, and then exit. So I will try with all the options and then we will go for debugging the program and we will execute it step by step for few cases, not for all the cases. For few cases we will try to debug the program. Okay, I'll go with the choice 1. So number of employees, so I'll take it as 3. It is asking me to enter the details of the employee 1. So like this, it's going to read all the 3 employees data, and every time I finish entering the details of an employee, a node will be created, and while creating the employee list for the beginning, correct? No, initially it is making use of insert front concept. So previous classes when I explained all the functions, it was clear inside the create doubly linked list function. Now what kind of insertion we are doing? So we are doing the insert front function. I hope all of you remember this, or if you want me to show, I can show you. So if I just move back to the program, okay, okay, let me execute first and I'll show you later. Okay, so I'll enter the SSN of the student, saying student. So but you have to say it as, instead of student, employee. I'll take it as 111 and then name the employee, say ABC. I'll take, then department, I'll take CSE, and designation, so I'll just take faculty, and then write some salary, and then phone number. So now when I press enter, okay, so now that means this node is created. The node for the first employee is created and it is already inserted into the list by using the insert front function. Okay, that means the list, doubly linked list, now has one node, and that itself is the first node. So now I'll go for reading the details of the second employee. Okay, name of the employee XYZ, and then designation, again I say this, and then so salary, okay, sorry, department, and it was designation. Now since I've entered this for dating, okay, it will read, not a problem, because we have declared it as a character array. Okay, and then some phone number. So by mistake I've entered the wrong data for the designation. Okay, now it is asking me, now two nodes are created. So the node which we created just now, the most recent node gets inserted to the front of the node which was existing. That means if I ask you the question, there are two nodes in the doubly linked list, and which node is the front node? So the node with the employee SSN 222 is the front node, and after that you have the node with the employee ID 111. So now similarly we are going for reading the details of the third employee. Okay, so PQ, or let me give the name, and then department CSE, and then designation, and then salary, I just say and then some phone number. Okay, so now it is inserted. So now I've created a doubly linked list with 3 nodes. Now we'll go for display and check whether it is created properly or not. So 6, some display. So you can just observe now here. So for the second employee, I've entered the designation field wrong. Let us not worry about that because that's not important for me now. Now you can just see just the first node 111, the employee with the SSN 11 is the first node that is created, and after that 222, and then after that 333. Now in this doubly linked list, it is so you have the display on the computer, you can get it something like this. So but if you work out, you have 111 at the end and 333 at the beginning. So 333 is the front end of the doubly linked list and 11 is at the rear end of the doubly linked list. Okay, so now this is the list what I've created, employee list. So now let me demonstrate how to do the insert front. Now I'll go with the choice 2 now. So now I did all these things with the choice 1 now. I created the list and I've added doubly linked list and 3 nodes are added to it, and at the front end you have the node 333 and at the rear end you have the one node with the social security number 111. Now I'll go with the choice 2. Okay, so insert front. Now it is asking me to enter the SSN of the employee. Okay, now I'll take it as 444. Since I'm doing the insert front operation, so the 444 should come in the first row now. So if you look into this table that is displayed, 444 should be there at the first row, and then we have the name of the employee, and then department, then designation, salary, and then the phone number. Now it is inserted. Now if I go for display, so you'll just find 444 in the first row now. So that is the front end of the doubly linked list. So 6 I'm going. So you can see 444 is at the top. Okay, that means so 444. If you just imagine the doubly linked list in the pictorial representation, so 444 with all these details at the beginning of the doubly linked list. Okay, now we'll go for demonstrating the insert at the rear. So I'll go with the choice 3. Now it is asking me to enter the social security number. I'll give 555 and then name of the employee RRR, and then department mechanical, so some designation. Okay, so let me say HOD, and then the salary, and then some phone number. Now done. Now if I display 6, see it is inserted at the rear end. It is after 111. Okay, so now the new node which I inserted, it was inserted at the rear end now. Okay, now we'll go for performing the delete from front operation now. So I'll go with the choice 4 now. So delete from front means the node with the social security number 444 must be deleted. So it is deleted. Now I'll just say 6 display. Now 444 should not be there. Okay, and when it gets deleted, how to adjust the link and all, because we have already discussed that in the previous class. Okay, now similarly let me go with deleting from the rear end. Okay, I'll go with the choice 5. So now deleted. So now again I'll display that the node with the social security number 555 should be deleted from the doubly linked list. See, that is also deleted. Okay, and now what I'll do is I'll try to perform the repeated deletions, and otherwise and the question also asked you to demonstrate the operation of what double ended queue. Okay, double ended queue, when I say, there are again 2 types: input restricted double ended queue and output restricted double ended queue. Now you know how input restricted double-ended queue operates and how the output restricted double-ended queue operates. Now since you have all the functions insert front, insert rear, delete front and delete rear, so the combinations, you got to choose which two combinations will best suit for demonstrating the input restricted double-ended queue and which two options will best suit or should be chosen for demonstrating the output output restricted double-ended queue. Now if I say ask you question, how do we demonstrate the input restricted double-ended queue? What is your answer? Which two functions you have to use among these four functions what we have? Insert front, insert rear, delete front and delete rear. Can you just tell? Hello? Yes? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So for demonstrating the input restricted double-ended queue, okay, which one you have to use? Which two functions you got to use? What is the meaning of input restricted double-ended queue? See, when I say input restricted double-ended queue, insertion can be done input restricted it is, correct, right? So restriction on the input. Insertion can be done only at one end, okay, and deletion you can go for doing it from both the ends, okay. When I say output restricted double-ended queue, okay, deletion can be performed only from the one end and insertion can be done at both the ends. So if I ask you to demonstrate the input restricted double-ended queue, so you can demonstrate this by using, say for example, I am inserting only at the front, insert front, and deletion can be done from both the ends. You should go for using delete front and delete rear, okay. Insert front, delete front and delete rear. These are the functions which you need to use to demonstrate the input restricted double-ended queue. And similarly to demonstrate the output restricted double-ended queue, so the deletion is happening only at the one end, so you can go for using, say for example, delete from the front, and insertion can be done at both the ends, say insert front and insert rear. So like this. Hope you people understood what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now display you already know, and similarly if I go for deleting all the nodes, okay, finally when the list becomes empty, you can see the empty message also, okay. Let me go for deleting a few more. So on alternate basis, one I'll be trying to delete using the front and another one I'll be trying to delete by using the rear. Alternatively I'll do it. So I'll go with the choice 4 because I want to perform the delete front. Now the node with the 3 gets deleted, okay. Now I'll display, okay. Now initially I did delete front, now I'll go for deleting rear. So choice 5. Now it should delete the node with the social security number 111. Now 6, oh yeah, deleted, and the count of the node is 1. Now this is the only node which is present. Either I can go for deleting this by using delete front or delete rear, anything is fine. Now I'll just go with the choice 4. Now delete it. Now I'll display, okay. So list is empty and the count of nodes is equal to 0, okay. So and 7 I'll exit. Yes. So any doubts with respect to the execution? So now we'll go for debugging, a quick debugging of this program. So for few options, if not for all, for a few options we'll go for debugging, because once I debug you'll understand the flow within the program, how the control flows within the program. Okay, so if you have any doubts, please interrupt me and you can ask. So I'm just starting with the debugging process of this program. Okay, I am at the main now. So initially, even when I explained in the previous classes, what we are doing, we have taken a pointer to the structure. Okay, and how to declare a pointer to the structure? Just node fi. If I ask you a question, what is node? What is your answer? Node is a type def definition for the structure. Okay, the structure that is declared. So here is the structure. I'll show you. So this is the type def node. Star node is a type definition for the struct list. Okay, now henceforth if I want to declare any pointer to my struct list, so I'll do it something like this: node fi, or any name you can give. Now what I'm doing initially, so fi we are initializing it to null, because you're running the program for the first time, and the list you're about to create, and fi is initialized to null. Now done is also initialized to 0, while not done, not of 0 is 1. Now I'm going for displaying all the menu options, and then I just display a prompting message, enter the choice on the screen, and after that I go for reading the choice from the keyboard. Now it is asking me to enter the choice. I'll go with the choice 1 now, because I want to create a doubly linked list before performing insert front, insert rear, all these operations. Okay, now switch choice. Now it goes to case 1. Okay, when it goes to case 1, I read the number of employees, and the number of employees right now I'm reading it to the variable n. Okay, scanf statement is written %d, because what I'm going to read now is an integer value, and where it gets stored in the memory location that is named as n. Okay, ampersand n says store the value that is read from the keyboard, store an integer value that is read from the keyboard to the address of the variable n. Okay, now I press F7. Now it has taken me to the output screen, and it is blinking. Cursor is blinking. What does it mean? It is waiting for me to enter an integer value from the keyboard. So let me go with the value 3. Okay, so I want to read 3 employees data. Now, so I've read the number of employees data to be created in the form of a doubly linked list. Now I'm calling the function create, and to create, what we are passing is the first pointer, which is initialized to null, and the number of employees to be created, or I can call this as the number of employees to be created, or in general you can also call it as the number of nodes to be created inside the doubly linked list. Okay, I'm calling this function by passing the first pointer, which is initialized to null, and the number of employees or the number of nodes to be created, and the return value from create, so we are assigning it to fi. Okay, now what I'm passing is fi. So initially it is null I am passing. So the moment the create function is called and all the nodes are created, what create is going to return is the address of the first node, and that gets assigned to fi. The moment the doubly linked list is created, so fi will be assigned with the address of the first node. But before the list is created, so fi is what? Null. Okay, now if I press F7, the control just gets transferred to the definition of the create. Okay, we'll see that. So we are in the function definition create. Okay, and the formal parameter here is first. So but the actual parameter name was fi. So now the current value of the fi gets copied to first. And this is possible because fi is also of type node, and first is also of type node. If they are of same type, so the copying is possible. Then what happens? So the value of fi also gets copied to first. And what was the value of fi? Initial value, it was null. And what about first now? The first value is also null. And I'm passing the total number of employees to be created, the total number of nodes to be created, and there the actual parameter name was also n, and the formal parameter name is also, and the same name is been retained here, and only the first pointer, there it was fi, and here I made it as first. Okay, now so I have the variable I declared here for looping purpose, because I am going to use this int I inside the for loop, because I got to repeat these statements which are written inside the for loop for how many times? For the number of employees. Okay, so right now I've taken the value of n as 3. Now I want this for loop to be repeated for how many times? 3 times. And then I've taken one more pointer to my struct list, and the name of the pointer is q. Okay, now how do I declare a pointer? Just simple, node q. Now I want one more. I want p also to be pointer to the struct list. So node p. Okay, like this. Okay, next. And before creating the node, I'm just checking whether the list is empty. Okay, if first is equal to null, what does it mean? The list is empty. Okay, I'll just go with F7 now. See here, I'm just checking if the list is empty. Yes, list is empty because fi value was null and first value is also null. Okay, now what will happen? The condition is true, it will enter into this, because the list is empty. Now it will go for creating the employee list. Okay, so now running the for loop for I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to n. So since I've taken 3, so I is equal to 1, 2, 3. 3 less than or equal to 3. Even it goes with the last number also. So 3 employees data we need to read. Next, what happens? When I press F7, it is asking me to enter the employee data 1. Enter employee 1 data. So if this doesn't look good for you, you can write this %d here just after employee. So then you can read it as enter employee 1 data, something like that. And then this message gets printed on the screen if I'll press. Now if I press Alt F5, you can just observe here. Okay, the menu options, after the menu option I've taken the choice as 1, and then enter the number of employees 3 I've read, and now so the program has prompted me enter the employee data of employee 1. Okay, now, and how do I read the employee data? Because there are so many things to read. I need to read his social security number, his name, his designation, his salary, his phone number, his department. All this information I need to read. Again, I've made a separate function for it. So with the name read data. Now if I press F7, the control goes to the read data. Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened. Am I audible? My system got hanged, I think, because I'm not able to move my mouse. Cursor is not there. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 1 second. Nothing is happening. Oh, I think I deleted few lines also. Let me not save it. Just my God. I'll open it again, just a minute. I'll close. Okay. Okay, it's correct now. I'll do F7. I'll go till read. Enter the choice 1. Enter the employees 3. So create, yeah, this is what we were discussing. Enter employee 1 data. Now read F7. Okay. Yeah. I don't know when I press F7. When I go for reading, it is getting hanged. Okay, let me try. Read data, source, modify variable, no. Okay. Now, okay, I think so. Read data. It has not read anything, but how can it come here? Let me check whether read data function is there. I think I have not copied it. Yeah, read data is there. Okay. It was waiting for me to enter the employee data 1. Okay. Let me enter 1. So 1 second. Let me debug it again. Okay. Yes. Three. Yeah, it came to read now. I don't know what was the mistake earlier. Okay. Now it is reading the SSN of the employee. So this message you have to change. Enter employee SSN. Okay, 111 I'll give. Now name, it is reading. So ABC. Now department, CSC. Now designation, I take it as AP. and then salary, okay, and then phone number, so now we're calling insert front because I got to create, when I'm creating it has to be done by using insert front operation itself. Insert front, again first is passed, first is null. Now before inserting, the node has to be created and it should be filled with all this data, and to create the node we are calling the macro, okay, with the name malloc. Just observe now, okay. So this is called, and what happens, so that you cannot see here, okay, the control will not jump there. See, have you noticed, see, control was here, I pressed F7, it came here. That means, so instead of this is the statement what I've written for calling the macro. Now the macro definition is here, so entire thing gets substituted there itself. So you never noticed the control jumping here, so the control didn't came here, okay. So why? Because it's an inline substitution. This entire thing what you are seeing here, so this entire thing it got substituted here itself, here itself. That means the node is created right now, and who is pointing to it? Q is pointing to it, and using that Q, I'm accessing the first field, social security number, I'm assigning SSN, and now for the next field I'm copying the name, and for the next field the department, and for the next field the designation, salary, and then the phone number. And since this is the first node which we are creating, Q arrow previous is equal to what? Null we have to store, and Q arrow next is equal to first. See, in the previous field you are storing null, okay, and in the next field of this node, so you are storing the address of the same node. Hope people understood it. First, and first is not equal to null, okay. That means if the first, okay, is, and right now the first is null, that means this is the only node which we have created. If first is not equal to null, so you got to make first arrow previous is equal to Q, because insert front what we are doing. So now this condition is false, it will come out and it will return only Q. See, it is returning only Q. Now going similarly, reading the data of the employee 2, read data of employee 2, and then name of the employee, and then department of the employee, and then designation of the employee, and then salary of the employee, and phone number. Again you're calling insert front. Now first is not null, okay, first is pointing to the first node. Again allocate the memory for the second node, assign the SSN, name, department, designation, salary, phone number. Now again make Q arrow previous is equal to null, and Q arrow next is equal to first, okay, because this node has to be added at the beginning now. So in the next field of the node to which Q is pointing, you got to store the address of the node to which first is pointing. For that reason, Q arrow next is equal to first, and Q arrow previous what you are doing, you are storing it as null. And again you check here, if first not equal to null. If first not equal to null, what does it mean? The list is already there. Now what you have to do, so first arrow previous is equal to Q, okay, first arrow previous is equal to Q, and that means in the previous field of the first node, the previous first node, you are storing the address of the new node that is created, okay, and then return Q. Now here, okay, so again, so when I say return Q, the first is not pointing to the previous node. Now the first is pointing to the node just now which is inserted to the front side of that node. Now again read the data of the third employee, name of the third employee, designation, okay, and then okay, that was the department, sorry, so I've entered it wrong. It's okay, no problem. So I'll enter the department here, and then the salary, and then the phone number. Again I'm calling, assigning all the fields to the newly created node, and then return queue, and then finally return first, break. Done. Okay, so we have created the list now. Okay, next again display the menu option. Now I'll just go with the 6 now, because I want to display and show you all the nodes which I created now. So choice 6, so display F5, only first we are passing. So count is initialized to 0 because I need to count also. If first is equal to null, I say list is empty. Right now the list is not empty, while first. Now what I'm doing, so using first I go for displaying everything. Okay, so first arrow, social security number, name, all these things. And yeah, I press F7. See, the first employee data is printed. If I can see that, Alt F5, you can see here first employee data got printed. Now first, again first is not null. Now what it prints? It prints the details of the second employee. So details of the second employee is printed. Again, while first, there is one more node, it is not empty. Sorry, we have not reached the end of the list, so it is printed. So 3 employees data is printed. Now again if I go, so while first I am checking, it is false. Okay, because first has already reached the null. Now it will come out of the loop. Okay, and then it says the count. So and here I think 2 more statements are, I'll just show you, they are here. See, first is equal to first arrow next and count plus plus. So you print the details of the first employee and then increment the first and make it to point to the next node, and then simultaneously along with that you increment the count also. Once that is done, so you go for printing the count. F7, souls rebuilt or modified, no. Okay, count is printed. Alt F5 press. So number count of nodes is equal to 3. Any doubts in the program? I hope you people understood how to debug it. Yes. And one thing that you got to notice here is this malloc. Whenever the malloc is called, the control will not go to malloc, because this is not a function, this is a macro. It gets substituted here itself. Now this, when the control comes here, it does nothing but that one line, it gets replaced by all these lines. Hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you want me to debug insert rare? Because insert front you understood just now. Similarly, do you want me to debug insert rare, delete rare, display? I have debugged it. So only 2 functions are remaining from for tracing. One is insert rare and delete rare. If you want, I'll trace those things also. Otherwise, if you are able to trace on your own, you can debug it. Do you want me to run it for insert rare and delete rare? sorry, insert rear, delete rear, and again one more, delete front also. Yeah, tell me. So do you want me to debug the program for all these functions also, these three functions, insert rear, delete front, and delete rear?
No, sir.
Not required, no? Okay. So this much, and in the tomorrow's class I will just go with the remaining topic of the doubly linked list. I think we have the polynomial one, operations on the polynomial. We'll try to understand that. So once I complete that, so module 3 will be done, and we'll be switching to module 4, which is completely based on, so what we understood till now was a linear data structure, and what we are going to understand the next, from the 4th module onwards, is a non-linear data structure. So where you understand the concepts of trees and all. Okay, and for tomorrow again we are going to continue with this doubly linked list itself, because there are few examples on this, that is operations on the polynomial using the singly linked list. So we'll just understand that, and we will from day after tomorrow we'll switch to the module 4. Okay, so and this program today I think I've already put this program in the Google site. I'll just check it. If it is not there, I'll add it to my Google site. So copy this program to your observation, and you can start executing. So if you have finished already 7 programs, and if you don't have any programs to execute, today you can go for executing this. And if you have not completed the earlier programs itself, say 6, some batches I think have not completed or not started 7th program and 6th program, those are not done, complete them and then go to this program. Okay, so those who have already completed till 7 can go for doing this program 8.c. Okay, so I'll take attendance and I'll stop the session. $350, 43, 135, 135 is that? 156, 18C is 156. Srijita, absent. 10, 16, Aman Kumar, absent. 39 is there, 116. 134, Samarth Gowda, absent. 35 is present. So 35 is present. 36 present. 37, 38, 40, 41. Shiv Shankar, absent. 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. Shriya absent. 47 present. 48, 49, 50, 51 absent. 52, 53, 54 absent. 55, 56, 57, 58. 59, 62, 63. Tanish Agarwal, he left the college, I think. 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. 70 absent. 71, 72, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81. 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 88, 89, 90 absent. Sorry. 91, 92, 93 also absent. Okay, thank you all. I'll download the list also. Wait for a bit. Okay, thank you all. We'll meet next class tomorrow. Thank you.